I really missed like what the real dirty and grittiness and grime of old prosthetic effects.
Sometimes when you're in the dark movie theater and they do the build-up and the suspense, and you see this creature, if you don't believe it's there, if one little hint says, you know, I was fakely created in the computer, you're kind of not intimately involved anymore.
And even if it doesn't look real, it still is something there that's a work of art in a way.
That boil is going to upstage everything I do. Marks.
John Godesky is our visual effects supervisor, and he's a great guy. He's been a lot of fun to devise tricks with.
We decided, like Todd Masters and I spoke early quite a bit, and we decided that we were going to really make the visual effects and the prosthetic effects work together.
He's not afraid of using practical stuff. In fact, he encourages it.
There's things that just doesn't make sense for him to do because it's very difficult.
And if you're smart, and you can figure out how to key them together like that, you get something that people don't even know what they're looking at.
I'm having a bath.
She's relaxing.
In a bubble bath.
It's been a stressful day.
Parasites, you know, enter the room in the house and I have no idea.
She doesn't see it because she's having a disagreement with her mother.
It's gonna turn into a plum in there.
Prune, Mama. Plums turn into prunes. I was a prune by the end of the day. I was in this water for so long.
This is the first thing I thought of in this movie. This is what made me want to do it. It was this particular image. Because I thought it was scary and pretty gross.
He told me that and I was like, wow, okay, this is gonna be fun.
We'll do it once with just this mouthpiece in. Okay. Then we'll do it once without the mouthpiece in, and you try and remember the form the mouth was in.
The parasite is entering my mouth, right? And it's CGI crawls up my back and gets inside. I'm just cracking up because the puppet guy is swinging its tail around, you know, and then I have another one that's not real, that's just my mouth open where the CGI is gonna go. So it's it's really funny.
This is going to be for Kylie's close-up. There's several different versions here. One of this is just just the tail, so it kind of wiggles around and doesn't choke her. The other two are stunt worms. One's actually a bit of a hero worm, but she pulls them out and throws them across the bathroom. These are made from it's a hot melt vinyl. It's really stretchy, really pliable, perfectly safe for in the mouth.
There's a shot in the film where Kylie's in the truck.
I'm in a car and the parasites are swarming it.
It's a really expensive effect to do if you animate it, but if we created animation, just a white on black element of worms that just build and build and build until the screen is black, and then use that as a projected light source through a digital projector, it would almost be free. So if it works well, we'll save money. If it doesn't work well, it was a glorious experiment.
There's been a number of programs I've been involved with where people have had to either take off weight or put some on. But this is that's the fattest lady I've ever seen.
You look like you've been eating a lot of health food lately.
Anytime you make a huge flesh ball that has an opening in it, someone's going to say, that kind of looks like my ex-wife, you know?
She's a whole lot of woman. I don't think that can be denied.
No. Believe me, there's a lot of sick people in the world. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to love this.
At the very beginning, he always said that it had to be this. We all kind of like sketched a bunch of things that were more realistically based. And he really wanted this big ball.
This little head on this giant, you know, James and the Giant Peach, you know, body.
She started out as like kind of a big pregnant beast, right?
And then she got rounder and rounder, and every time we put some kind of fold in her, he said, nope.
round.
We kind of almost wanted to design them away from that to kind of bring it more closer to reality, and it really came to this, you know, this bizarre round ball and just very realistically rendered.
I think one direction was she should look like a big pregnant belly with the belly button as an Audi where her head is.
It was a hard design job for the effects guys.
Maybe.
Might be an Audi, but you can park a Porsche in her.
Dude, she's right here.
I am not an animal.
What is it? There's something wrong with me?
I'll tell you right now. It's a good script. You should read it. Something's wrong with me.
Something's wrong with me, yeah.
In every movie, as a producer, there's a moment where I feel like we have our movie. And that, for me, was the Brenda moment.
Something's wrong with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a signature moment, you know, for me.
Brenda came in and auditioned, and I had been looking for a Brenda for a long, long time, and I couldn't find the right Brenda. And she finally came in, and I was so happy to have her. I got down on my knees and worshipped her. But the problem was that she only read the first scene in the movie before she was cast, correct?
Yes.
Which was a nice little bar pickup scene between her and Grant.
I think that happens a lot, is that, you know, people come in and they think, you know, I'm going to read this part, so I'll just read the scene that I'm reading.
Well, I had to go for a prosthetics test in Los Angeles, and I didn't have time to really...
What do you think the prosthetics were for?
Well, I wasn't quite sure. I heard something about an impregnation, and I thought, oh, okay, and I didn't quite know what prosthetics were, which was another problem. So on the airplane, I decided maybe I should read the script and see what I got myself into. And lo and behold, I found myself sobbing in the air uncontrollably the whole way down to Los Angeles, only to find myself encased in a prosthetics makeup chair, which wasn't that much fun either. This particular org that I'm living in right now isn't a lot of fun either.
But you still love me.
Oh, I want to kiss.
This spot up here is where our actress, who's also named Brenda, sits. Forward, leaning on this, head out there, and she just kind of braces herself.
Oh.
There we are. Cool.
Okay, let me get comfortable.
Right here, we've got hand controls tied over there, so if you actually look at close details on the film, you can see that she's grabbing at things. Sometimes she's grabbing for pieces of meat. At the front are all kinds of air tubules that, when controlled by our pneumatics up at the back,
it's like being the Phantom of the Opera.
Make it look like there's slithering creatures inside her, which are the parasites that explode out of her. When she is writhing in pain at the end, we're just sloshing her forward with every single move. It's quite violent. And of course, our actress is in the middle writing away. It's tons of fun for her.
Little fuckers are tearing me apart!
Cut! Are you good?
Yeah.
Great!
It's nice as a filmmaker to see something come out just like you pictured it, because that's what it's all about.
This is very much like what I imagined.
I think they should get you a hospital right quick. What the hell they gonna do with her in the hospital, Bill?
This was kind of my favorite scene in the movie. On the page. I think it's just the most unique.
Most of us don't really understand what it takes to build a Grant monster.
Michael, he has a whole transformation.
This last makeup is actually quite abusive.
He's expanded and he's taken over the house. He's literally the man of the house.
He goes through, I want to say, 3 hours of makeup just to get that stuff on, 2 hours just to get it all off.
I remember one day he was in makeup for, I think, 18 and a half, 19 hours.
You guys, you can go have some lunch. I'll be right with you. The first time I tried it, it left me with a kind of a kink in my head.
It's about, I don't know, 30, 60, 80 pounds of makeup on his head.
Oh man, look, all the balance is gone now.
Yeah, I've been seeing a masseuse every day after work or before work.
He's a trooper. I mean, the guy is a freaking trooper.
You know what? I've never done anything like this before, so it's new and fresh and fun for one movie, maybe. Yeah.
Much like all the effects on Slither, they're all a work in progress.
Even when we get on set, it's still evolving. So
We had the Grant Monster, and I changed him.
James will look at something. He's like, oh yeah, you know, this is really cool, but can we see it from this angle? Can we do this?
I'm having a big problem with this, unfortunately, guys.
You know, he would come in and go, that should be there and that should be there, and totally change things.
We've been working on him for 6 months. Now we changed this whole everything about him in an hour.
That's, again, where our great team has come to play.
Does this look like I'm stabbing him, or does it look too bouncy?
What we initially were going to do is we were going to take this mirror and Starla was going to stab it in Grant's eye. Now we're going to move it down to this big growth area here.
That's pretty good, actually. That's a good place to do it. That's a good place.
So we're going to plumb this with blood and pus to ooze out.
This movie's all about the pus. Blood is overrated. We need more pus.
%90 of what makes that scene work are the performances of Michael Rooker and Elizabeth Banks. And yet 90% of making it, or more, has to do with where are the fucking tentacles all the time and how are they moving behind her? Are they puppets or are they CGI?
The best way to do it is to mix mediums, to mix practical with digital.
There's things that prosthetics do really well, and there's things that visual effects do really well, and we were going to, right from the planning stage, complement each other.
Sometimes you got physics and, some sort of performance aspects that you're not necessarily going to get at a practical level, or it might be simpler to do on a CG level.
Most of our work on the Grant House monster would be, animating the tentacles, doing various actions, picking up Starla, throwing her against the stereo, throwing her against the bookshelves, throwing the couch at Kylie. He's throwing a lot.
Fortunately, the stuff that CG cannot do is kind of the stuff that practical's really good at, like having something actually physically there on set. Practical.
One of the things that we went to Todd and Dan with was the idea of giving this creature a real biology. I mean, that's what separates a cheesy B monster from something like Alien.
Well, a really cool thing we've been doing on this show is all our tentacles, tubules, and that are basically set up with this clear outer skin.
We wanted to see all those things and see how they work and see the layers and see the organicness of, organics.
That didn't make any sense.
To me, like in nature, nothing is just a static thing that's painted. Everything is in layers. You have your skin layer, your muscles, your blood, and that's where the realism comes from.
The first thing Dan wanted to do, this was great, he wanted to take us all to a like SeaWorld or something like that. I thought that was great.
We looked at a lot of sea creatures at first and like a lot of sea slugs and things like that. We took that and mixed it with this horrifying dermatology book that we had. It's like every possible skin disease in the world.
Well, now that is some fucked up shit.
So we started this database of just organic, weird crap, and we started using it in our designs.
We ended up with a really interesting biology for the Grant monster.
This is a tubule, which there's a lot of confusion throughout the show, people getting tubules and tentacles mixed up. But there's a very big difference.
Did you say tentacle or testicle?
A tentacle is basically what he uses to grab, to squeeze, to kill, and to move around. A tubule is what he uses to impregnate. If you get one of them in you, it doesn't do anything. It'll hurt, but it won't turn you into Brenda. If you get two of them in you, it's like the A and B particles going together, then you swell up and turn into the big slug ball. Very big difference between a tubule and a tentacle.
Oh, that's awesome.
This is a puppeteer rehearsal on one of the front tentacles of the Grand House Monster.
The key thing with these tentacles is rigidity, and getting it up in the air is extremely important.
Pretty creepy.
You got to get it up in that position before you can start really waving it around and getting into the sort of motion and the thrust of the scene.
You are seducing her, so you don't want to scare her completely.
I think the most frightening thing that we can bring as puppeteers to this is that if we don't do it well, we're not going to get hired on another tentacle movie. And that in itself is tremendously frightening for most of us.
So it's kind of like, you know, Grant and his little ninja self-defense Secret Service team. They're operating his tentacles, they're operating these tentacles, they're operating his feet. Puppeteers are right there with the creature, and they have that control, and it works really, really well.
Well, most of us are puppeteers from Vancouver that work together a lot. What we get brought in today on a rehearsal day to do is just rehearse the movements that the director and the effects house have worked out, and get ourselves ready for the shoot over the next few days.
This is the small of the front two tentacles, so it will be a workout.
Action!
But I'll keep growing till I'm everywhere, till I'm all that is.
You can't expect me not to go through some period of adjustment after all these changes. You've done a real nice job decorating, baby.
Cut! Great!
I think we have a very successful tentacle situation back there. The puppet stuff all functions exceptionally well, and when the stuff functions exceptionally well, it's easy to perform it really well, or easier, absolutely, and that's making it really good for us right now.
This movie's more than just an homage to the alien invasion movies of the 80s. It's kind of a bit of a tip of the hat to the makeup effects guys from that period that were just kind of making it up as they went.
But I also hope that the core horror fans get, you know, actually the reverence with which the film was made.
There's probably more bad horror movies than any other genre of film, but there's also a lot of great horror movies.
We're pretty sure we're actually working on one of the best movies. It's just been a really great experience.